we went to the store at like 9 p.m. They really wanted ice cream. I was feeling like being a nice mom. And so I said, okay, we can go to ice cream. These are the 3 things we're getting. So we cleared it before we went in the store. We're getting toothpaste, I'm getting coffee, and you're getting ice cream. That's it, you know? So we go in, and then John starts going, well, can I get some Sour Patch Kids for the movie tomorrow? And can I get a bag of chips and this and that? And I was like, sure, you can. Hope you brought your debit card. And I just walk away, you know? There's no fight about that anymore. Or if he says, but why? Why can't you buy it? It's a very simple answer. That is a want. That is not a need. That is not what we came for. And a year ago, it would have been a very, very different conversation of him following me around Ralph's, telling me all the reasons he needed this, that, and the other thing. So I think they've both really evolved. I mean, we started out talking about Cassidy because she is such a big spender, and it's really, really different now than it used to be. She definitely does not spend money at Starbucks anymore.
She's just gotten over that habit.
Maybe once a month she gets a drink, but she knows she doesn't ask me for the money. If she wants it, she buys it.
That's amazing.
And it's a game changer in a parental relationship because you are no longer the gatekeeper, or, you know, in a negative way. I'm the gatekeeper with allowance, but it's predictable, it's strategic, it's consistent. I'm not the gatekeeper in that like minute to minute, I need, that looks cool, can I have? No. There's yes and no, and there's a reason behind each one, and it's not personal. We don't need to fight about it.
I love it. I'm so happy to hear it. That is fantastic.
I mean, let's be honest. It's not like we're not like walking on clouds every day. It's not like
they're not perfect.
Rainbows
totally.
and unicorns. I mean, there are the moments where there's a little pushback, but it's like a normal amount. It's not what it used to be.
It's conversation and not fighting.
Right. It's conversation.
That is a total game changer. That's the part that, yes, I'm thrilled to hear. And you also know, parental game changer, that they're on this platform. They're now at this point, and Lord knows where they're going to be in another year and another year and another year as all of this continues, right? They are on their way to be money savvy adults. That's the goal, right?
Yeah. Another funny thing about John, you know, we've been talking about some investments with you, and you've spurred some conversation with him about that. And he's more interested in, you know, investments and donations than spending money, where Cassidy is very into spending and the more like immediate needs. And we had a Christmas party the other night, and a friend of John's parents were here, and they said, well, we heard that over Mexican food the other day, you guys were talking about, you know, investments and where his investments were. And like, just to hear that 2 14-year-old boys were talking about wise investments and where their money was going, you know, over Mexican food was just, they thought it was the coolest thing. I think I looked like a really cool parent, you know, to them, that's what we were talking about. But what a fun thing just to get the conversation going. I mean, we were talking about sustainability credits and how companies can offset their carbon emissions and why that might be a good investment or not. And, you know, it was really
amazing.
Getting some cool Julie? Conversation.
This same exact thing happened to me 2 weeks ago. Literally the exact same thing with Grace. So also, you know, 14 years old, and she's in the backseat with one of her closest friends. And her friend says, oh, well, we skipped our Money Sunday this month, and so I have to get home because I know we're doing it today. And my ears, of course, perked up, and I look in the back seat as I'm driving. I'm like, really? I'm like, oh, tell me about that. And so she goes into it a little bit, and then the conversation changes, and she and Grace are just going back and forth. It's like, well, my investment bucket, I do this, and and then now they're talking stocks. She's like, well, I own this, and I own this, and this is why. And Grace says, I really like the companies that are just more conservative. You know, I like to buy companies that make this stuff around the house. My sister, she likes those high-flying tech things. You know, they go up, they go down. My stuff's much more steady Eddie. And then she pauses and she says, and now my TED Talk is over.
I can see her saying that. That's hilarious. And maybe she will be, you know, the youngest girl talking about investments on TED. That would be amazing.
That would be. We might have to work on that as our next project. But I was so, like you, I was so happy to hear them just conversing about stocks, about investments at 14 years old. It was like, wow, this is continually, I get reminded that this is the right path.
Yeah. It's a great conversation and great follow up now, and fun to look back with the parents and talk about it. I don't know, the whole experience for us was really fun. They're both evolving in their own ways. It's a fun process to watch. And I'm learning too. I mean, I'm not, you know me, I'm not super money savvy myself, and I'm learning right along with them, and it's giving us a good reason to watch those stocks and check our statements and have conversations around money, which I didn't really do growing up. My parents had their own money conversations, but I wasn't really included in it. So it's kind of taking a different angle in that, like, parenting meets money world for me.
Yep,
I'm learning.
absolutely.